Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, as I do this presentation. All right. Mm. Hello, family. Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbie. Before I get into today's episode, if you are new to this podcast or if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel as of yet, please do so now. And also be sure to tap the notification bell for alerts when we drop a new episode. Please let us know in the comment section below this audio podcast where you're listening to us from. Also, let us know what's happening in your country, in your state, and or in your city so that we can discuss it on this platform in real time. We are a global community and we want to keep our listeners informed about what's going on with Black people and African people throughout the diaspora. I would like to I would like for us to grow this platform to 500,000 strong and also for us to get this film project fully funded and made so that way we can use the proceeds from the film to purchase property in Chicago, Illinois, within the low income Black community and become an economic base within that community. Eventually, in God's timing, we will be hosting African tours, Caribbean tours, and South American tours so that we can move beyond cyberspace and make our presence known in cities and countries around the globe. On this platform, we are more than just talk. We will put boots on the ground and do what we can to help improve the social conditions of our people who are who want more out of life and want to become GRCAM members. Um, so let me be clearer and let me be upfront about this. Those of you that care less about solving Black issues or solving African issues, then please delete me off your friends list and go on about your business. And that's real. Just go on about your business because you're taking up space. Want people that's going to be on this, I will say, part of my platform that's listening, that's on my YouTube page, to really work with me to become a GRCAM member. That's my goal. So that way I don't have to be pushing this stuff. Me and Sister Renee by ourselves, we can't do everything. We're only two people. You know what I'm saying? This is why I created this platform to broadcast my vision and plan beyond Chicago, beating that drum loud as I can, doing the best that I can within the limited resources that I have because I'm on a shoestring budget. Is what it is. Um, to learn more about our business opportunities within our, I would say, media component, please purchase my ebook. Read my story for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, specifically Black Chicago, then you will automatically become a GRCAM member. I'm looking forward to connecting with many of you. And again, I thank those of you who have supported this important piece of work that we're trying to do. Disclaimer: this content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is based on public available reports and verified media sources. We fully comply with YouTube's community guidelines. We do not promote violence, hate, or misinformation in any form. This platform is available in two forms: audio and also as a written text, in order for us to reach our audience where they're at. So, for example, I come with plenty of receipts. I don't just sit up here and be running off at the mouth, you know. So I want to reach my listeners where they're at. I have articles that people can read. I also have videos for those that unfortunately that don't like to read. So it is what it is. Uh, Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast is our Black media component. I would like to encourage my listeners to subscribe to my Medium um, transcript where you can follow along through this presentation. I provide my Medium transcript in the comment section below this audio podcast. If you are a Black artist, African artist, such as an author, comedian, poet, musician, or entrepreneur, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform so that way you can promote your books, your business, your music, your jokes. And if you have a small ministry, then you're more than welcome to share a 30-minute sermon with my listeners from the global community. After the show, I offer an incentive to my guest speakers by teaching them how to create their own podcast, YouTube channel, and get it monetized, as well as assist them with creating a free Wix website. Ladies and gentlemen, I am available Wednesday, June 3rd through Sunday, June 7th, Monday, June 8th through Friday, June 12th, Sunday, June 14th through Sunday, June 21st, Monday, June 22nd through Thursday, June 25th, Sunday, June 28th through Tuesday, June 30th, from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. American Central Time. On this platform, we keep you informed and empowered from wherever you are, either from the diaspora or on the African continent. Don't just be a listener to our audio or video podcast. Join the movement, ladies and gentlemen. I want to do more than just news and social commentary, but at this point, this is where I'm at. I'm unable to hire anyone at this time because unfortunately I'm not making any money from my book sales, nor am I selling items from my virtual store. I'm just keeping it a buck. I created this platform in order to broadcast my vision and plan across the United States of America to recruit brave and smart, like minded Black Americans beyond Chicago who identify as DAS FM, descendants of American slaves slash freedmen. Also, I want to recruit brave and smart, like minded African immigrants within the United States of America from 10 African nations. They are South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. I encourage both groups to please read my story for yourself. I'm also reaching out to the global African family. If you're serious about me bringing my business over to the African continent, then please help get my ebook on that bestsellers list. That would put me in a better position financially so that way I can hire Black people, African people, and others. I want my advisory board or resource team to have an associate's degree or above. I want Black attorneys, African attorneys, investors, Black entrepreneurs, African entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and philanthropists. Once we get our film project fully funded and made, and the proceeds from the film starts pouring in, then I will be in a better position financially to purchase property in Chicago, Illinois, buy office equipment, hire qualified Black middle class professionals, and qualified African immigrants. Global African family, again, I need your help. It does not matter how bad I want to get my Christian business up and running. Without financial support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to do my God given assignment, which is to build the best Black Christian business within the United States of America, with the help of GRCAM members, of course. And that would be the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. for credibility before I cut and run to Africa. So that's what we're on over here. We're about building and healing. Um, so that's kind of like what I want you all to know. This year, we are determined to get this film project fully funded and made so that way we can get our story on the big screen in order to reach the Black world and let them know who we are and what we're trying to do for my people, Black Americans who identify as descendants of American slaves slash freemen that are trapped in American ghettos or the low income Black community. Upcoming events. Please mark your calendar for Saturday, June 27th. We're hosting our monthly virtual interactive conference. I would like to encourage 5 people from my Facebook page or from my Facebook social groups to come on the panel to discuss our monthly theme, which is, quote, how South Africa became a third world country. You would need to watch the documentary first so that way you can discuss the topic. If interested, then please send me a message to my Facebook inbox along with your email address so that way I can email you specific instructions about being on the panel. Thank you. Now, if you are unable to participate on our monthly virtual interactive conference, no problem. Then please listen to the replay. Leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below the audio podcast. Most of all, please share the link of my audio podcast with your friends on all social media sites that you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. You want to be on the panel, but don't know how to use StreamYard or Zoom, then make arrangements with me. And I'm willing to teach you how to use both of them. Right? So, where? YouTube Live when? Saturday, June 27th, time 2 p.m. American Central Time, 3 p.m. Canadian Time, 8 p.m. West African Time, 9 p.m. South African Time, 10 p.m. East African Time, and 8 p.m. UK Time. Title of this presentation: Ghana is evacuating its citizens from South Africa, and how long will Black America allow these Black politicians to sell us out? Our first topic: Ghana is evacuating its citizens from South Africa. In this episode, we're discussing the growing xenophobic crisis in South Africa and Ghana's response for its citizens in South Africa. From videos of attacks on African migrants, Ghana has decided to evacuate their citizens. On this podcast, we're breaking down what's happening, why tensions are increasing, and what this means for African migration and the future of regional unity. We're also exploring the deeper economic and political pressures fueling these conversations across Africa and why this moment matters beyond South Africa. We got to talk about what's going on in South Africa. Ghanaians are being airlifted out of South Africa by the Ghanaian government. FBA, Foundational Black Americans, are saying that's why they delineated. That's why delineation came about, because xenophobic in South Africa is proof that Pan-Africanism is dead and Black Americans had to separate ourselves from these other groups. In Ghana, the Ghanaians are saying they want Nigerians to leave their country. Black South Africans are telling Canadians, Nigerians, Ethiopians, Kenyans, and all other African migrants to leave South Africa by June 30th. I found a video clip on YouTube from DW Africa. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. According to the video, the first group of Ghanaian nationals leaving living in South Africa has been safely evacuated back to Accra. The repatriation exercise was voluntary and fully funded by the Ghanaian government against rising xenophobic tensions in South Africa. Some Ghanaians said they moved in search of better economic opportunities, but now live in constant fear due to growing hostility towards foreign nationals. Black South Africans insist that undocumented foreign nationals have entered the country. So far, 500 Ghanaians have voluntarily given their names to be repatriated back to Ghana. These individuals hold their heads high because they were doing legitimate businesses, some documented and others undocumented. The most important thing is that the government of Ghana has decided to listen to their call, take them back home, and reintegrate them into Ghanaian society. Hundreds of Ghanaian nationals have left South Africa in response to protests there against African migrants. The protests have been growing in recent weeks, and some of those now leaving said that they have been victims of constant harassment from anti-immigrant groups like Operation Dudula and March and March, accuse illegal African migrants of driving up crime and taking jobs and basic resources from Black South Africans. As the economy struggles with unemployment at around 30%, their message is resonating with many Black South Africans. There is a serious issue in Africa as it pertains to migration. African people are moving from one area to another. Resources are not equally distributed. Sorry, tongue twisted. Distributed among the population. The white supremacist financial elites in South Africa are siphoning off everything which is making them richer. Black South Africans are at the bottom fighting over basic resources. Then you have other groups migrating from other countries to compete for jobs and resources. Black South Africans are complaining about Ethiopians, Ghanaians, Nigerians, Somalians, and Zimbabweans. They claim they are coming into their country causing mayhem. I've never seen videos of Black South Africans complaining about Arabs, Asians, East Indians, and Europeans coming into their country causing mayhem. The majority, the major problem in Africa is with African governments not addressing the influx of illegal immigrants. We need to address migration in Africa. Africa have been sleeping for too long. Gurkam is here to wake up our brothers and sisters and explain to them that the God of the universe has blessed Africa with all the natural resources they need, such as minerals, diamonds, gold, oil, rare earth, and uranium, just to name a few, are all under their feet. This is why these Europeans are constantly coming to our continent and stealing our resources. Now, neocolonialism 2.0 is using multinational corporations to buy land in Africa. If Africa don't get it together, then we will lose Africa to the white supremacist financial elites. If we lose Africa, we lose everything. And that's why I say the battle is not for America, the battle is for Africa. That's all I'm saying. And Lord knows, 34 years I've been reaching out to Black Americans and I'm still on first base. It's just so disrespectful at this point. It truly is. But again, this is spiritual warfare at its best. And I don't wish this on nobody, to have, when you're trying to do something positive for your racial group and, you get little to no support for it, it's very discouraging. And I'm focusing on trying to build a business, a strong, positive business, and bringing that to the low income Black community. But I want to make sure I have competent people that's going to help me build it and run it. So that way I can turn the business over to them and bring it over to the African continent. That's all. I want to see Black America win, and I also want to see Africa win. We will win if Black people and African people work with me and get in my revised book on that bestsellers list, work with me and getting this film project fully funded and made, ladies and gentlemen. We also like I say, have to get behind this film project. That's important. So that way the Black world will know who we are and what we're trying to do for our people, or in my case, my people, descendants of American slaves / freedmen who are trapped in the low-income Black community. Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago aim to become an economic base within the low-income Black community. No one is going to build Kakai of Chicago for us. No one is going to fund it for us. We have to fund it for ourselves, build it for ourselves, and that means we're going to own it. That's why my business will be membership based. Those that work with me, I'll work with you. If you ain't going to work with me, no problem. I'm not going to fool with you. It's just that simple. If you look at what's going on in North America, mass deportation, it's mainly West Africans and Latinos. And if you look at the problem in South Africa, they are mainly West Africans. The question at hand is who is to blame for this? It's ourselves. Africans are still stuck in this tribalism mindset. In Kakai of Chicago, both groups, Black Americans who identify as descendants of American slaves / freemen and African immigrants from 10 African nations. They are as follows: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. I need you all that's here in America. All I want you to do is please read my ebook. That's all I want you to do. And from that point on, if you agree to, in terms of if you want to work with me, cool. Let's make that happen. Because I can't reach Black Americans. Again, because of this slave mentality. Even within my own family, they don't want to see me have a successful Black Christian business. They tell me, Emmanuel, you ought to leave that. I'm just going to say it in a nice way. You ought to leave that mess alone. Get a real job. Anybody tell me that garbage at all, we will remain strangers for life. I'm just letting you know, because I'm not going to put that in my spirit. Our children deserve this business. Ladies and gentlemen, those that's listening to this uh, um, audio podcast, I really need you to listen well. Please listen to the whole entire thing. This is very important. Um, Again, I understand y'all came here to live out your American dream, but I need your help. I'm unable to connect with Black Americans because a majority of them have become Americanized and have developed a narcissist attitude. And so this all happened because after the civil rights movement era, you know, Black Americans bought into that, racism is where America's over that, and we're in a post, and then with the election of Barack Obama, are we in a post racial society and all that garbage? That's just a lie. And I'll prove it to you. Just keep listening. Um, Many of them have also taken on the colonizers' ways. Others have become holier than thou, and they're no earthly good. The reality is that when West Africans travel over here, a few of them try to undermine Black Americans who have been here 400 years. Same thing with Afro Caribbeans. Not all, just a few. And that gave rise to FBA, the Foundational Black Americans. Like I say, I mean, over here, I want to work with those that want to build. That's all. Bottom line. And I want to bring the business over to the African continent, but we got to get it popping here first. My people are hurting. At least I have compassion and love. That's why I want, but I don't want to be stagnant. That's all I'm saying. I want this thing to hurry up and get up and running. Because we got to pass this business down to the next generation. And again, that's going to be GRCAM members. None of my family members will be part of my business because a majority of them that I know of, they're full of Willie Lynch. And I don't want to hear no congratulations and all that garbage, because what comes from that after that is they want to try to get in my pockets. And I ain't trying to hear that mess. They ain't getting in my pockets. We're going to remain strangers. So if I'm like this with my own flesh and blood, how you think I'm going to be with strangers? We know exactly how the system works. We are under the system of white supremacy, and that system is starting to crumble. I believe Elon Musk is behind what's happening in South Africa. Israel is trying to promote Cape Town as an independent country, separate from South Africa. Yet these same people have not paid reparation for colonizations, apartheid, and land redistribution without compensation. So we don't even want to hear that garbage at all. Like I say, I mean, I wish the business was up and running today, the Kyle Chicago, because I would definitely be over there in South Africa to help, alleviate that high unemployment, from 30% to cut it down to half of it, at least 15%. It's not much, but doggone it, at least that's what we would do in this business. But the thing ain't even up and running yet here in America. That's the one I'm constantly complaining about. That's how come I'm reaching out to the global African family for you all to get involved. Help speed. That's why I'm reaching out to 10 African nations to help speed up this process and for us to get things done. Doggone it. I believe that Julius Malema was targeted because the white supremacist financial elites wanted to make him an example after Trump's reelection. Julius Malema is calling out xenophobia and the March and March group. The way March and March is acting and the inaction of the South African president, that's part of the problem because it seems like the state is in cahoots with what's going on. I'm watching videos of South African police just standing by, watching assaults happening right in front of them, and they're not arresting anyone. That means the state is in agreement with that. That's why this is becoming more and more of an international story. Yet, as many, yet as soon as Black South Africans start looting from Asian businesses, then all of a sudden the police arrest them. Seems like double standard to me. President Mohammed in Ghana has sent for his people to come back to his country, and they're not, and they're leaving not because they want to, but because they are forced out through due to xenophobic attacks. The police are not protecting African migrants, but these same xenophobic thugs are out here saying they support law and order, but they're committing assault, theft, and vandalism. To me, that's criminality. They claim that they are against criminals, but yet they are committing crimes. So that's a contradiction. I found a YouTube video clip entitled, quote, Show Me the 300 Jobs You Created After 300 Ghanaians Left, unquote, by Julius Malema. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. In this powerful video, Julius Malema challenged the narrative about xenophobia, unemployment, land ownership, economic justice, and the future of South Africa, addressing supporters in the Eastern Cape. Malema argues that African migrants are being used as the scapegoats, while the real issue of economic inequality, land ownership, unemployment, poverty, and access to resource remain unresolved. And he's right. He questioned whether deportation create jobs, all calls for unity among African people, and urges South Africans to focus on ownership of lands, mines, banks, education, and economic power. The speech also reflects on Nelson Mandela's speech that, quote, the struggle continues, critiques government failures, and raise concerns about poverty, healthcare, education, and dignity for ordinary Black South Africans. Ghanaians were forced to leave their businesses and their homes under terrorism. When you enact violence underneath a political means, that's terrorism. It's coercion, intimidation, and all that violence under political means. It's a shame. A country that the diaspora helped to get rid of apartheid is going through the most right now. Let's keep in mind that it's not all Black South Africans that are supporting this mess. I want to be clear on that. Not all Black South Africans are supporting March and March, putting hands on African migrants. They are not creating jobs, they're scamming. I watched a video about how Black South Africans are discriminated against in Cape Town. Many of them live in shanty towns while white people roam around with their chests out like they belong in Africa, doing whatever they wish. Tell people outside this country than in, okay, my sentences are telling people outside this country then in. I came across another video. This one is from Al Jazeera English entitled, quote, South South African protests, migrants, anti-migrant demonstration plan in Durban, unquote. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. They're not protesters at this point, they're criminals. So now they're destroying businesses, and a lot of these business employ South Africans. So now you're creating more unemployment for Black South Africans. Notice they're only pulling up on other African migrants, but they're not pulling up on the white supremacist financial elites, the white restaurant owners who hire illegal immigrants. They don't go to places like Orania or Cleft, Cleftantine, a whites only town in South Africa. Every time you bring that up, they got an excuse for it. Many of them say they're a part of us, or we are a rainbow nation. No, they are your oppressors and col- colonizers due to the current economic apartheid. They're a you're a rainbow nation when it comes to white people, but you're not a rainbow nation when it comes to fellow Africans. They colonized your country. They took your land away from you the since 1595. They basically stole the land, which is their MO. They did that in the black nation of Australia, North America, the Caribbean, South America, and Africa. In 1948, they codified apartheid when the National Party took over South Africa from 1948 to 1994. And those same people that took your homeland subjugated your ancestors, turning the entire country into a sundown town. And yet, y'all want to act a fool with fellow Africans like Ghanaians, Nigerians, Kenyans, Ethiopians. None of them put you under apartheid. The Europeans did. You're giving the smoke to people who didn't colonize you and put you under apartheid than the people who did. Those white supremacist financial elites still occupy 80% of your land and still control the economic power in your country. That's the problem right there. none of none of those fellow Africans have your land. You make up every excuse for those people. Black South Africans would tell me Black Americans cry all the time about racism. We don't do that here. In America, the white supremacist financial elites are trying to roll back certain advancements or gains that the Black Americans made during the civil rights era. Let's keep in mind that Israel was the biggest supporter of the apartheid government in South Africa. They gave nuclear weapons to the South African government to threaten Black South Africans. What I'm disappointed about is that the ANC have allowed these vigilante groups to run amok and determine what happens on the streets of South Africa while they are sitting back saying nothing. Black people and African people have been divided based on tribal lines, social class, political affiliations, and religion. After the fall of apartheid in 1994, Nelson Mandela came to power. Black South Africans won political power, but the economic power remained with the white supremacist financial elites who control 80% of occupied land and they are only 7% of the population. Black South Africans who left with very little, and now they find out that a whole group of African migrants are coming in, and it's a mess. The ANC is in coalition with white people and white political parties. They are sharing power with them. These non African groups benefit from our chaos. South Africa needs to start correcting their foreign policy. It's about Black South Africans having land redistribution without compensation from the former colonizers, reparation for colonization, and apartheid, because Black South Africans still don't have their land nor their wealth. White people are using African people to incite other African people against each other because they know their best weapon is to divide and conquer. They have to remember what happened to Zimbabwe President Robert Mugabe when he took back the land from white farmers. The whites wanted the majority of the land while black Africans stay in poverty, stay in shanty towns. Black South Africans are the poorest people. This is why they view Nigerians and other African migrants as a threat. White South Africans have all these financial systems in African countries. They have access to diamond mines, gold mines. That's been under white South Africans for over 30 years. This is a perfect time for Ghanaians to use their leverage, because if these white South Africans going to tell Ghanaians and other Africans to leave the country, which is very rude and very disrespectful, this gives the people from Ghana an opportunity to take charge and take control of their own gold mines and stop doing business with these racist people. Point blank. They should be across the entire Sahara Africa. Forget about those black South black South Africans that's discriminating against them and giving them a hard time, because at the end of the day they're doing things that don't benefit them in the long run. Find out which corporations are paying these immigrant protesters in South Africa. Who's who are these people? Trust me, these people will want to renew their gold mine permits in Ghana. That should not happen after everything that took place in South Africa. If you guys allow these chiefs or politicians to give these people another contract to have access to your gold mines, that would be an insult to your intelligence. Let me be clear, this is a tipping point for Ghana. If these chiefs or politicians give your gold mine to white people to renew it for another 20 to 30 years, it may cause a coup. If they give this gold mines to South Africa, they will be, yeah, it will be a coup. I'm telling you, all that stability will be gone. All these things African used to with do on their own. Once the Europeans step foot on African soil, all of a sudden Africa has been catching hell. Other black Africans in other African countries are waking up. They don't want you guys to go after the foreign mega international corporations. No more concessions for foreign companies. Ghanaians can dig the gold mines themselves. I believe this is a divine wake up call for West Africa. We got to take back our minerals from the white supremacist financial elites. we should be the ones making the money, not outsiders or non-Africans. Target those foreign international corporations. Forget about those useless um, uh, black South Africans that was threatening you in South Africa. Go after those companies that control the mines in your country. That mine, that gold mine produces 25% of Africa's output. Their contract was coming to an end, and then these South Africans behaving this way. It is the same situation in Mali. In the UK, you have over 1 million youth that are unemployed. America and Europe, they know what's coming. But as Black people and as African people, need to tighten access to our diamonds, gold, and minerals. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this audio podcast and share with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Second topic, American how long will Black America allow these Black politicians to sell us out? In this episode, we're going to discuss the treason that these Black politicians have caused in our community. I post an article on my X page from the Associated Press News entitled, quote, Pope Leo um, 14 makes historic apology for the Vatican role in legitimizing slavery, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. In the article, it mentioned how Pope Leo XIV made an historic apology for the role that the Catholic Church played in legitimizing slavery and for failing to condemn it for centuries. Popes from the past have apologized for Christian involvement in the transatlantic slave trade, but no pope have ever publicly acknowledged the role that past popes played in giving Europeans explicit authority to subjugate and enslave Black Africans. It said the history's first U.S. born pope, whose family history includes both enslaved people and slave owners, delivering an apology. So, what you have here is a sitting pope for the first time acknowledging and apologizing for the Vatican's role in legitimizing slavery. There's a lot why this topic is being openly discussed. If the politicians are not acknowledging this, how is it that the Catholic Church is acknowledging slavery, but the politicians are running counter and in opposition to the Catholic Church itself? This is the result of an endless campaign of putting our issues, the Black grassroots, front and center. We are demanding that these politicians address our issues. It will not be swept under the rug. It will not be whitewashed. So they are responding to it. And the politicians are feeling the heat. Governor um, Beshear, um, trying to, just a moment, has done a lot of great things for Jewish people. You can Google it. You can Google them if you would like. One example is the creation of an anti Semitic task force. Meanwhile, we are the only victims without an anti Black hate crime bill. We are still waiting for Governor Beshear to bring that energy over here because he does specific things for other groups like immigrants, LGBT, etc. There are different white supremacist financial elites with their own agenda. Some of them use soft power to maintain control, and others use warfare to maintain control. They are considered globalists, while those who use soft power are considered nationalists. White supremacists White supremacy is losing its grip on controlling the world's resources. Black people and African people better come together while we still have time. Otherwise, there's an agenda to limit our population and uh, rid us of our beloved Africa. In America, we have black politicians who are overtly hostile towards our interests, hostile towards our demands. Black Americans have to apply pressure to them in several different ways, either at the ballot box or financial boycott. Gurkai, Gurkam members is going to have to step up and work with me in building Gurkai of Chicago if you're serious about surviving in America. Our black politicians are in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites. This is why they don't do anything for black people. For example, the Democrats have always been pushing this narrative of black and brown coalition. The black and brown coalition is a long-standing Democratic um, electrical um, strategy that unifies um, black Black Americans and Latino voters, built on the foundation of shared civil rights goals, economic justice, and opposition to systematic inequality. The narrative um, pose that these two groups are natural political allies with overlapping interests. Locally in Chicago, this coalition has deep roots, famously propelling Harold Washington to the mayor's office in 1983. The Chicago Sun-Times highlights how organizers frequently involve this solidarity to push blacks against divisive political rhetoric, particularly regarding immigration and neighborhood resources. Despite the party's push, the narrative faces noble challenges and evolving realities. Recent analysis and critiques, such as discussion document, documented by Convert, Convergence magazine, points out that this partnership is often, quote, a coalition of convenience, unquote, while progressive center the alliance on shared struggles against white supremacy and racial capitalism. Critics argue that the black and brown label can create policy tensions between black and brown people. For example, debates surrounding gentrification, localizing education funding, and shifting voting demographics indicates that these communities do not always share un- uniform political interests with the black community. I heard about a case in South Carolina involving the shooting of a black teen from Queen City News entitled, quote, SC store owner found not guilty of murder of black teen, unquote. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. What I learned from the video is that an Asian store owner named Rick um, Chow shot and killed a 14-year-old black boy named Cyrus Belton. This is another case like Latasha Harlings. She was a black black American girl who was fatally shot at age 15 in Los Angeles by Soon Ja-do, a 49-year-old Korean American convenience store owner. She falsely accused the 15-year-old black girl of stealing a bottle of juice, which she didn't. The girl paid for it, but the store owner pulled out a gun and shot her in the head. The money was still in the girl's hands. So that was just really low down. She was she was tried and convicted of voluntary manslaughter over the killing. The judge sentenced due to 10 years in state prison, but the sentence was suspended and the defendant was instead placed on 5 years probation with 400 hours of community service and a payment of 500 restitution and Harlan's funeral costs. The sentence was widely regarded as extremely light. This case contributed to the 1992 Los Angeles riots, along with racial tensions and high unemployment. The community burned down the store as a result. Cyrus Belton was accused of shoplifting, which he didn't. This kid did not steal anything. They reviewed the surveillance video. He looked in the freezer, picked up some water, and then put it back and left. The store owner assumed he stole something and ran after him and shot the kid in his back. It wasn't self defense because the kid was leaving. Actually, they say he was running down the street and the guy was chasing him. It's sad, but this is how it is. So there was a trial, and the jury said not guilty verdict. I'm encouraging Black Americans not to go out in the streets to protest. We know that is what those white supremacist financial elites want, so that they can harm us even more. We have to understand something, family. This There is no equivalent of a George Floyd among any other group in America. I'm just saying. As long as we remain in America, we will be treated as third and fourth class citizens. Why? Because the foundation of America is anti black racism way before the US Constitution was written. I'm just saying. The reason why I want to build Gakai of Chicago is to provide job opportunities for our black youth who are trapped in the low income black community. Build a bridge with the African immigrant community so that together we can um, expand Gakai of Chicago to 10 African nations and eventually throughout sub Sahara Africa and throughout the diaspora, ladies and gentlemen. This whole minority coalition nonsense, this is why we need an anti black hate crime bill. I want you all to understand the bigger picture. The white supremacist financial elites are empowering these other groups to fight against us as wholesale. That's what I keep trying to tell black people, but hey, you don't want to listen to me, so hey, go ahead and find out the hard way. They reward them by giving them economic access to start their businesses in the low income black community. In Greater Chicago, we will encourage our members and students to patronize our businesses so that we um, don't wither on the vine, and also so we can employ our own. You don't have to be going into those stores, but like I say, 34 years, I'm still on first base. So it's just ridiculous, but just doing the best I can. That's all I can do. They reward them by giving them economic access to start a business in the low income black community. Um, they get legal protection from the criminal justice system. All of this so that they can extract resources from the black community or black neighborhoods. The white supremacist financial elites is sending a message that these other groups will be protected by the state if you eliminate a young black person for any reason. Remember the the Peter Ling case out there in New York City. To watch the full video entitled, quote, The Heat, examining the Peter Ling case, unquote, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. The whole Asian community around the country got together to protest this guy, to protest, to protect this guy, talking about he was used as a scapegoat. It was a mistake and all that stuff. His people shield him, and the mass and the mainstream media protected him. They like to criminalize the victim to justify these executions. American society have to use that narrative that black people are responsible for their own death. They will grant them some legal immunity. We have these people who are economically exploiting our communities. They come in, they're allowed to set up shop in black neighborhoods, extract the wealth, treat local residents as suspected criminals. The system is doing what it is designed to do, and that is to oppress black people. This not guilty verdict for Rick Chow. That's how that's not a failure of justice. The system is working exactly like it was designed to do. Your CAM members have to first build our own system, then we can replace the old system with a new system of justice. It's going to take your CAM members to say enough is enough. We have to make these politicians who come around us every 2 years talk about voting on a minority coalition. Hell no, we ain't doing that. For me, it's Das FM or nothing. That's where I stand on this issue. We came from a lineage of people who built this nation, but we have to build and heal so that Cacao Chicago can spread across the United States of America in order to clean up our inner cities and build that bridge between the low income black community and the African community so that together black Americans and African immigrants can expand Cacao Chicago on the African continent and replicate the business model. Notice how fast the Asian community received an anti Asian hate crime bill. They mobilized, got federal support from both political parties. It was drafted and signed into law. No institution pushback. This proves that the system knows exactly how to move quickly to protect a certain group. Yet, descendants of American slaves slash freedmen, we have been we have documented evidence of centuries of systematic targeting and sabotage. Our hate crime bill must name the Pacific lineage, and that has been targeted for from day one because that violence is very specific to our lineage. We got to fight against that buffer class immunity. The white supremacist financial elite has given a green light to these non-white groups to police and harm black people with immunity. Truth be told, as a collective, we should boycott all Asian business within the black community. I'm just saying. In the state of California, black Americans bought into the black and brown coalition until it got exposed. I watched a video from ABC News entitled, quote, Los Angeles City Council President Steps Down amidst controversy over racist comments, unquote. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comments section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. Black Americans slowly had to move out of California due to the rise of rent and property taxes. As a result, Black Americans only make up 6% of the population, which means their vote has become neutralized or, in other words, worthless due to our Black politicians who are caping for illegal immigrants while doing nothing for Black voters. And that's a doggone shame. I wrote about this in my revised book, Chapter 7, My Political Views. I tried to warn Black Americans, specifically Black Chicagoans, that we need to stop giving away our vote to the Democrats and demand economic tangibles, not symbolism. When I say help stop the genocide in American ghettos, I mean it in two ways. One is to get our Black youth off the streets and away from gangs, because the biggest threat to young Black men and young Black women within the inner cities is urban terrorists. I'm trying to use this platform to recruit single Black mothers, single Black fathers to join the grassroots community activist movement so that together we can make an impact in the low income Black community if given a chance. Secondly, we have to hold our Black politicians accountable for non action by not voting for them. Otherwise, our children will have a harder time in this country competing against illegal migrant children whose people are on code with one another and are still divided, which will be our downfall. We need to select people from the Black grassroots to represent us in local and state government. I found a TikTok video entitled, quote, Stand Up for Queen of Soul, Sister Red, New Food Truck, unquote. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. In this TikTok video, it exposes what's happening on 125th Street in Harlem, New York City. The local legend Tammy Treadwell, also known as, quote, Queen of Seafood, unquote, behind the Harlem Seafood um, food truck. Despite her heavy investment and deep ties in the Black community, her mobile truck has been targeted and towed by city officials over New York's notorious strict and limited vending license laws. Recent footage exposed the double standard between Black residents and illegal immigrants in the Black community. This local Black business owner, who have been feeding the Black community for years, is being slowly squeezed out and penalized. While the influx of undocumented foreigners, street vendors are allowed to operate unchecked right in front of the transit hubs. Many of them don't have street vending permits. The strain on historical Black neighborhoods and his, the hypocrisy of municipal enforcement that ignores unlicensed operation while targeting taxpaying citizens. Again, Black American, you have two choices: either embrace annihilation or embrace survival and become a GRCAM member. The sooner we are able to get GRCAM up and running in America, specifically in Chicago, then I can turn the business over to my advisory board or resource team and expand the business on the African continent. If the crisis is still going on in South Africa, then we may choose Kenya, but I need Kenyans to stand up and help me get my revised ebook on that bestsellers list so that way I can be in a better position financially to hire Black people, African people, and others. I'm only responsible for GRCAM members and their immediate family members. I watched another video from the diaspora, from the African Diaspora News Channel entitled, quote, Columbus NAACP president explained his virtual black and brown comment from the panel, unquote. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. On the video, they had a Democratic president of the NAACP from Ohio who made a statement that we need coalition building with Latinos, and the crowd wasn't having it. What we can't have is that fake solidarity because our will always be placed last, and that's not happening over here. Everyone who is an active GCAM member in due time will be able to pay their bills and feed their families. Congratulations to FBA for being on code. We have to do the same thing, GCAM members, which consists of descendants of American slaves slash freemen and African immigrants within the United States of America, as well as the global African family. Truth be told, I'm not getting pushback from white America. I'm getting pushback from black America. Why? Because this is spiritual warfare in real time. I have sacrificed 34 years of my life trying to recruit Black Americans, specifically Black Chicagoans, online and in real life, and still to this day have little to no support for building a positive Black Christian business that would help transform our inner cities if given a chance. I have been paying out of pocket for the business title for 16 years, and yet I still lack an advisory board or a resource team. Brother Tariq Nasheed is calling for delineation from everybody. I call for delineation from the enemy within, which are as follows: con artists, black boule, degenerates, Democrat shields, hardened criminals, pedophiles, off code Negroes, and urban terrorists. In my revised book, chapter 3, on faith, page 92, I predicted that the white supremacist financial elites will start a war with Iran, which will cause World War III. The energy crisis is here. I know many are talking about nuclear warfare. The American empire is collapsing and we're $38 trillion in debt. Look at what's happening in European nations. They are facing immigration crisis too, but guess who they are deporting from their country? Black Africans and Africa have to have the right to do the exact same thing. Gurkham is calling on the black world to take a stand, either join us or embrace annihilation. My revised book is barely selling, and items on my virtual store are barely selling, while things are getting worse for black people in America. This is why I'm reaching out to African immigrants across the United States of America and the global African family in order to help speed up the process and for us to get things done. That's all doggone it. I cannot work with people that just, you know, that don't want better out of life. That's just how it is. Shoot. That's why I want to bring the business over to Africa. Africa is suffering hard. They want to work and feed their families. And that, oh boy, it's just horrible. Just be glad when this God opened up this door and speed up the process. Because I've been ready for this stuff 34 years. But yeah, I'm getting up in age. Dag. How long is this going to take? This is this is the biggest problem I'm facing. I want to make sure none of my members have to go through this. It's going to be harder for our children here in America. In contrast, because of this off-code behavior and this slave mentality. So I'm just saying. In contrast, in Africa, the majority of businesses are owned by foreigners, such as Arabs, Asian, East Indians, and Europeans. I plan on setting up local chapters in 10 African nations so that we, as Black people and African people, can do international trade among our people and among CAM members. We have to get it started in Chicago first for credibility. There's a lesson for us to learn. This is what happens when you surrender. I watched a video entitled, quote, "Why Can't Jamaicans Access Their Own Beaches?" Unquote. To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. Less than 1% of Jamaican's coastline is publicly accessible to Jamaicans. Look at who owns the hotel industries. They are Asians, white Americans, Canadians, and Europeans. If you think that not being 10 toes down against white supremacy is harmless, think again. The reason why delineation and distinction became essential was because we started realizing there was a pattern in the lineage and ethnicity of a few Afro Caribbeans and African immigrants that were coming over here, being placed in positions and seats as it pertains to our reparations. They voted against us and spoke against us. This is what makes this is what happens when you allow your political class to practice open treason. This has now become the legacy of Marcus Garvey, the legacy of Bob Marley. This is where we are today in Jamaica. Jamaica cannot even get access to their own beaches. This is what's happening in the Black world. If only I could reach Black youth and African youth to embrace my vision and plan, we could turn around our situation within 2 years' time. When I come across people who sit up here and try to criticize me and others that discuss racial issues, but they claim that race doesn't matter, yet they forget that these white supremacist financial elites have bought up everything or stolen everything, but they are on this race doesn't matter thing. They are still making money from slave labor due to generational wealth. That's why DAS FM is on their bumper demanding lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this audio podcast and share it with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. It's time for us to have real conversations like this, ladies and gentlemen. Please like and share because we're talking about saving Black America as well as saving Africa. We have the power at the grassroots level. We appreciate you taking the time to to engage with real conversations, real issues, and real perspectives that matters to Black America and to Africa. If you're serious about political clarity and independent thinking, this is for you. The Grassroots Community Activist Movement is a safe space for Black voices and African voices. Give our people local, national, and international voice. Report on stories other ignore, hold power accountable, and make sure that the truth about our community is a is told by us. But independent Black media only survives when the community supports it. If you believe in journalism, community accountability, and keeping Black voices strong, then we need your help. Thank you for listening to our audio podcast and for joining us on the stream. We greatly appreciate it. I need all of you to support our film project so that way we can move your cam to the next level and that is the big screen to let the black world know who we are and what we're trying to do for my people that's descendants of American slaves slash freedmen um, that reside in the low income black community. Quote, Hood Liberator made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins. You can be a part of this historic docudrama by contributing to our crowdfunding pages, which are which our GoFundMe page, our Buy Me a Coffee page, or our PayPal Giving Fund page, which will help fund marketing, promotion, clearance, legal, and general expenses. Thank you for listening to our YouTube Live or the replay. If you reside on the African continent, then I recommend that you follow me on my Pod Chaser because it won't eat away your bundles because it's audio only. I provide the link in the comment section below this audio podcast in the comment section. If you are new to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast, welcome to our safe space where we discuss Black issues and African issues. We do this every week. This will conclude our audio podcast for today. Like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next episode. Now, before I close out, I'm going to share uh, my Medium transcript so that way you all can know how to, follow along. That's very important, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see. Okay, so here I am. So I recommend first you go to Google, type in Google on your smartphone or laptop, tablet, and then type in Manuel. That's all one word. Manwell online dot medium medium.com. And so this is gonna pull up. And so this is my current this is my speech I just finished going over. So you click on that right there. And what you do, you just scroll down. I usually click that kind of stuff out the way, pop-ups. Scroll down. Again, this is how I'm serious about what I'm trying to do. I want to let people know up front all I'm trying to do is sell a book. That's all I have. Virtual store, I have items on there. I just want you to read my story first. That's very important, ladies and gentlemen. And then from there, if you feel like you feel like you got the smarts and you got what it takes to help me um, build and manage this type of business, then make yourself known to me. Work with me while I'm alive. Don't wait until I'm dead. Nobody it's a saying that nobody can work while it's day. You can't work while it's night. I'm just saying. It's just basically that means work while you're alive. Just paraphrasing it. All righty. So I recommend you go through all of this. Click on all of this, ladies and gentlemen. All these links under show and prove. Because those are my sources, okay? That's very important. Trying to see. So yeah, this is the case about that young brother, the 14-year-old that was shot. So this one right here as well as this one. So you click on that, you'll find more information about it. Right. Trying to see some more stuff I'd like to point out. Check out this about a white doctor. He's want to sue, find a black doctor directory. Just picking on black people. That's all. He ain't doing that to Latinos, Asians, or even Jewish people. They pick out stuff that they want. The consumer, but he want to sit on here and he's a white man. And it says find a black doctor. So he's just up here because it's not, things is not supposed to be by race anymore. These white. That's how come I'm saying. I just want to get the business popping here first. Turn it over and bring it over to the African continent. Shoot, and we're gonna fight like hell to get our continent back. Shoot, but right now I'm not in a position to do much because I have little to no support. Unfortunately, a lot of people talk all that black stuff, but then push comes to shove, you got to put your money where your mouth is. So, but yet that dope man, you know, he has more support from the black community than me. But hey, it is what it is. You know, just trying to do something positive and productive. You don't have to run from the cops if you work for my business. Because we all the way legit. Okay, so this is right here how South Africa became a third world. You will have to watch this if you want to participate on our virtual interactive conference on June 27th. But yeah. Then I recommend just look at everything. This is under the African Diaspora News Channel. Check all those videos out. They be putting out some positive things. That's why I like them a lot. But I don't limit myself to just that. I go to other people's, and I mention that on here as well. The ones that got some good content. And again, this lady right here, Representative Pramila Jayapal, Jayapal from India. She talking about giving reparations to illegal immigrants. That's the stupidest mess I have ever heard. And I think that all my listeners, especially Black Americans that identify as DAS FM, don't shouldn't even vote for those Democrats at all. They don't continue to crash and burn until they do right by us by giving us that reparations. I think it's going to take them probably two more, failed elections before they get the point. Uh, yeah. So, and again, this is stuff I always keep talking about. 44,000 Black women helped raise $1.5 million for Kamala Harris campaign from of 2024. All I'm trying to raise is $250,000 for this film project. So I wish Black women that's on my friends list, as well as Black men, but specifically Black women, to put me on blast, help me you know get my first of all ebook on that bestsellers list, and then help me raise the funds I need for the film project so I can go ahead and get this thing popping. Whatever I earn, yeah, like I say, with the nonprofit, whatever I earn, that's gonna use that to help our less fortunate brothers and sisters to be able to participate on some things because everything is not going to be free. You know what I'm saying? That's why I have two. Actually, I'm going to have three different types of business. I want us to get into the grocery store industry, the healthcare industry, and the housing industry. Those three main things, because that's gonna help us, make money without, be begging for donations and stuff. Because I don't like to be begging for donations. And the money I earn from the for-profit business, I use, to help fund different things for the nonprofit business. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. Um, what else I'd like to show you? Um, my credibility. This is where you can get my book. This is our crowdfunding you know page. So go fund me that one. Buy me a or PayPal giving fund, or buy me a coffee. So those those are the main three. Right, ladies and gentlemen, and most of all, please subscribe and share my YouTube page. That's important. Um, yeah, so we covered a lot of material. Like I say, just go through my receipts, or my sources that I shared with you, and you know make arrangements with me to come on this platform if you got a legitimate business. That's all I'm saying. Let's make that happen. Okay. All righty. So thank you all for listening, and that's going to conclude our show for today.